One address on my mail route is always marked delivered, even on days I never go near it. I notice because the scanner vibrates in my hand at the same spot every morning, confirming a drop-off I didn't make, and because the mailbox at that house is nailed shut from the inside. I'm not exaggerating. I've checked. My name's Eric. I'm 41, and I've been a mail carrier in rural Indiana for almost 15 years. Same route, same routes, same faces waving from porches. It's the kind of job where you notice when something doesn't fit because everything else is repetition. The address is 178 County Road 6. Small white house set back from the road, trees grown in too close like they're trying to hide it. No car, no lights, no signs of anyone living there. The mailbox is an old metal one mounted to a wooden post, and the lid doesn't open. Not stuck, not rusted. Literally nailed shut. The first time I got the delivered ping, I thought the scanner glitched. Happens sometimes if the GPS drifts. I cleared it and moved on. But the next day, same thing. Same vibration, same green check mark, same address. I still hadn't stopped there. After the third time, curiosity got the better of me. I pulled over and walked up to the mailbox. That's when I saw the nails. Thick ones, hammered in from the inside of the box, points bent outward so the lid couldn't possibly open. Whoever did it didn't want mail going in or coming out. I knocked on the door. No answer. I checked the delivery history when I got back to the truck. According to the system, I've been delivering mail to that address every weekday for years. No holds, no forwards, no complaints, just delivered. The next morning, I paid closer attention. As I approached the bend in the road near 1178, my scanner vibrated again, right on time. I hadn't slowed down yet. I hadn't even seen the house, and that's when I noticed something new. There were fresh envelopes sticking out through a narrow crack in the front door. They were all addressed to the same name. Mine. I pulled the truck over so hard I felt the suspension bounce. My heart was pounding, not fast heavy, like it was trying to slow me down on purpose. The envelopes were real. White. Standard USPS. Barcodes printed clean and dark. My name typed out perfectly. No middle initial, no mistakes. The address was right too. 178 County Road 6. I stood there for a long time staring at them through the crack in the door, waiting for something to move behind it. Nothing did. No shadows, no sound, just that narrow gap, like the house was barely breathing. I didn't touch the mail. I backed away, got in the truck, and finished my route on autopilot. I don't remember half the stops. I just remember the scanner buzzing at the same spot every day, marking delivered whether I wanted it to or not. That night, I logged into my USPS employee portal at home. I looked up delivery scans for that address going back years. Every weekday, same time window, same confirmation code, all under my employee ID. There were even signature-required packages marked as accepted by me. I've never signed for a customer in my life. I barely slept. Around 3 a.m., I checked my phone and saw a notification from USPS Informed Delivery, the email that shows you previews of what's coming to your mailbox. There was one image attached, an envelope, addressed to me. The return address was 1178 County Road 6. The next morning, I skipped the house. I drove past without slowing, eyes fixed straight ahead. The scanner still vibrated, still confirmed delivery. But this time, it didn't stop vibrating right away. It kept buzzing in my hand until my fingers went numb. I pulled over again and looked at the screen. Delivery confirmed. Recipient present. My stomach dropped. I was alone in the truck. When I looked up, I saw movement in the side mirror. Someone standing in the driveway of 1178. Wearing my uniform, he didn't wave. He just stood there at the edge of the gravel drive, shoulders slightly slumped, satchel hanging from one hand like it was heavier than it should have been. Same hat. Same scuffed shoes. Even the tear near the bottom of the bag, the one I'd gotten caught on a fence last winter. My reflection didn't line up when I shifted my seat. He stayed perfectly still. I drove. I didn't think. I didn't check mirrors again. I just hit the gas and didn't slow down until the road curved out of sight of that house. The scanner finally stopped vibrating, like it had finished whatever it needed from me. I called my supervisor as soon as I reached the next town. Told him I felt sick, said something was wrong with my scanner, that I needed to bring the truck back early. He sounded annoyed but approved it. Normal. Too normal. At the depot, I checked the truck log. According to the system, I'd completed the route, including 178. I went home and waited for the mail. At 2:06 p.m., my mailbox clanged shut. Inside was one envelope. No stamp, no postmark, no barcode. Just my name, written by hand this time. Careful. Familiar. I opened it, standing at the kitchen counter, fingers shaking. Inside was a single sheet of folded paper, no message. Just a delivery confirmation receipt, printed like the ones customers get when they sign for a package. Recipient: Eric H.H. Address: 178 County Road 6. Signature: Eric H. The signature wasn't forged, it was mine. That night, I dreamed I was walking my route in the dark. No truck, no scanner. Just the bag on my shoulder, heavier with every step. Every house I passed was dark except one. 178, its front door was open now. Warm light spilling out. And from inside, I could hear the familiar buzz of a scanner confirming a delivery that hadn't happened yet. When I woke up, my feet hurt like I'd been walking for hours, and my work phone had one new notification: route adjustment. Start time: moved up tomorrow. My route begins 5 minutes earlier, right at the bend in the road, right before EN78. I didn't go in the next morning. I called out sick for the first time in years. Gave some excuse about food poisoning. My supervisor barely listened. Just told me to rest up and be ready tomorrow. When I hung up, my phone buzzed again. Route covered. Thank you for your service. That message didn't come from my supervisor. It came from the system. All day, I kept checking outside, half expecting to see the truck roll up without me. It didn't. The street stayed quiet. No mail clanged into my box. Nothing moved. At 2006 p.m. Anyway, my phone buzzed. Delivered. No address listed this time, just delivered. I didn't sleep that night. Around midnight, I heard the sound of tires on gravel outside. Slow, familiar. The low idle of a mail truck pulling up where it shouldn't. I stood at the window and looked out. The truck was parked in my driveway. My truck. Engine off, lights dark, driver's door open, no one inside. But the satchel was gone. The next morning, I found dirt on my shoes. Red gravel, same color as the road by 1178. My calves ached. My shoulder throbbed like I'd been carrying weight for miles. And taped to my front door was another envelope. This one wasn't addressed to me. It was addressed from me. Return address, 1178 County Road 6. Inside was a single printed notice. Route requires consistency. Undelivered items. Cause backlog below it in smaller text. Please complete your duties tomorrow. I'm scheduled again. Same route, same time. And I know what happens if I don't go, because the system doesn't care who carries the mail. It just needs someone to walk the route. And if I won't, it already knows how to make sure I do. I showed up the next morning. Not because I wanted to, because I'd stopped believing staying home meant I wasn't already doing the route anyway. If the system was going to use my body while I slept, I wanted to be awake when it happened. The truck was waiting for me in the depot lot, engine warm. The satchel sat on the passenger seat instead of its hook, like someone had set it down in a hurry. When I picked it up, my shoulder screamed. It was heavier than usual. The scanner powered on by itself. Reet! Ready! I drove. Every stop felt wrong, like I was a half second behind myself. Houses I'd known for years blurred past. People waved, but none of them looked directly at me. Their eyes tracked the truck instead, like that was who they recognized. As I approached the bend near 1178, the scanner vibrated early. Delivery. Pending. I slowed, despite myself. The house looked different in daylight. Not abandoned, maintained. Curtains drawn neat, fresh tire marks in the gravel. The mailbox was still nailed shut, but now there were dozens of envelopes crammed through the gap in the front door, bulging like the house was trying to spit them out. All addressed to me. I didn't stop the truck. The scanner screamed in my hand. Delivery failed. Manual. Confirmation. Required. The engine stalled. Just died. The truck rolled to a stop on its own, perfectly aligned with the driveway. I sat there gripping the wheel while the cab filled with that low, buzzing hum I'd started hearing in my dreams. The scanner screen went white, then displayed a single instruction. Walk! Route! The door unlocked. I stepped out. The air felt heavier near the house, like gravity had been adjusted locally. Each step toward the porch pulled harder at my shoulder, the satchel dragging me forward. I realized then the bag wasn't full of mail anymore. It was full of time. Every undelivered day, every skipped stop, every moment I hadn't been present. The front door opened before I knocked. Inside, the house was just one long hallway. Narrow, endless, mail slots lining the walls from floor to ceiling. Every slot labeled with dates, past ones, future ones. Some I recognized, some I didn't. At the far end stood the other me. Older, thinner, uniform faded, eyes hollow. He held out the scanner. "You're late," he said. Behind him, the hallway lights flickered on one by one. And I understood what 178 was. It wasn't a house. It was where routes go when no one finishes them. And if I wanted my life back, I was going to have to deliver myself home. I took the scanner from his hand. The moment my fingers wrapped around it, the weight in the satchel doubled. Not physically, my arms didn't strain, but something in my chest did. Like a pressure building behind my ribs, all the days compressing into a single responsibility. The other me stepped aside without argument. Up close, he smelled like paper and dust and sweat that never dried. His uniform was the same one I wore, just older creases worn in permanently, name tags scratched down to bare metal. When he turned away, I saw his back was hunched, not from age, but from carrying the bag too long without ever setting it down. "Where do I start?" I asked. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The scanner vibrated once. Next. Delivery. Eric H. Address. Home. The hallway shifted. The endless slots along the walls rearranged themselves, dates sliding like cards in a deck until one slot glowed brighter than the rest. Today's date. My address. I reached into the satchel and pulled out a single envelope. No stamp, no barcode. Thick paper, heavy. As I walked, the hallway shortened with each step, like it was folding in on itself to save time. The lights behind me shut off one by one, not ominous efficient, like a system reclaiming unused space. When I reached the door at the end, it looked exactly like my front door. Same chipped paint, same loose hinge. I hesitated. "What happens if I don't finish?" I asked quietly. The other me finally spoke. "You don't stop," he said. "You just get reassigned." I knocked. The door opened. I was standing on my porch. Morning sun, birds, normal noise. My truck was gone. The satchel felt lighter already. I slit the envelope through my mailbox slot and felt the scanner vibrate. D! Livered. Behind me, the hallway door closed without a sound. I stood there for a long time waiting for something else to happen. Nothing did. I went inside and checked my phone. No notifications. No route changes. No messages from the system. Just the time. Just the date. Just a normal morning moving forward. When the mail came later that day, it was just mail, bills, ads, a letter from my sister, and one blank envelope postmarked from the nearest town. Inside it was nothing but a printed receipt. Route complete. I still deliver mail. 178 County Road 6 is gone from my route now. The bend in the road is just a bend again, no vibration, no confirmation, no house set back in the trees. But some mornings, when I'm tired and moving on autopilot, I feel the satchel pull a little heavier than it should, and I make sure I finish every stop. Because routes don't like being left unfinished, and if you don't carry them to the end, they'll find a way to carry you instead. I thought that would be the end of it. That finishing the route, really finishing it, would close whatever loop I'd stepped into, and for the most part, it did. Weeks went by without anything strange. No phantom scans, no envelopes without stamps, no buzzing in my hand where the scanner used to sit. But something about the job changed after that. Not the route, not the hours, the weight. Some days, the satchel feels heavier before I've even put a single letter inside it. Not always. Just on mornings when I'm tired, distracted. When I'm thinking about skipping lunch or cutting a corner to get home early. That's when I notice the addresses. They're normal at first glance. New developments. Rural boxes tucked too far back from the road. Places where people moved in quietly and never really introduced themselves. The scanner doesn't glitch, but it hesitates. A half-second pause before it beeps, like it's checking something I can't see. Once I asked another carrier if he'd ever had a route feel resistant. He laughed and said, "Routes remember who finishes them." I didn't ask what he meant. Last Thursday, I found an envelope at the bottom of my bag that didn't belong to the day's mail. No barcode, no sorting marks, just thick paper and my name in careful block letters. I didn't open it on the street. I waited until I got home, sat at the kitchen table, and opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a printed list. Addresses, no names, no cities, just roads and numbers. Some were crossed out, one wasn't. Dasson 78, County Road 6, relisted. At the bottom, in smaller text, CO consistency, maintenance order. Thank you for your continued service. I folded the paper and put it back in the envelope. I didn't bring it to work the next day. But when I reached into my satchel that morning, it was already there. I finish my routes now. Every single one. I don't rush, I don't skip, I don't leave anything for tomorrow because I understand something I didn't before. The mail doesn't just connect people, it connects places that shouldn't exist anymore. And someone always has to carry that connection forward. As long as I keep walking the route doesn't walk me. I haven't seen the house again. That's the part that almost convinces me I'm safe. Weeks pass where nothing on that list changes. No new addresses, no scanner hesitation. The satchel feels like fabric and letters again instead of obligation. I let myself breathe. Let myself think maybe the system only needed reminding that I'm reliable. Then, yesterday morning, I noticed something small. My route map updated overnight, not rerouted, not adjusted, just extended. A thin gray line branching off the far end of my usual loop, barely noticeable unless you zoom in. The system labeled it temporary service road. There's no such road. I know every back road out here, every gravel cut through, every place kids hide mailboxes behind trees as a joke. This wasn't any of them. I drove it anyway. The pavement thinned into gravel, then dirt, then something that felt more like packed ash under the tires. Trees closed in. No houses, no boxes. Just the road narrowing until the truck barely fit. The scanner vibrated once. Delivery. Upcoming. The road ended at a familiar bend. Not the same bend, but close enough that my stomach dropped all the same. There was no house this time. Just a mailbox on a post, standing alone in a clearing. Old. Metal. Lid slightly warped. This one wasn't nailed shut. I parked and got out. The air felt heavy in that quiet way I've learned not to ignore. I lifted the lid. Inside was a single envelope, addressed to someone else. A name I didn't recognize. But the return address was the same one I'd hoped I'd never see again. 178 County Road 6. I didn't deliver it. I closed the lid, got back in the truck, and reversed all the way out until the road widened enough to turn around. The scanner buzzed angrily the whole time, escalating vibrations like a heartbeat speeding up. Back on the main road, the buzzing stopped. When I checked the map again, the gray branch was gone. Like it had never been there. The envelope wasn't in my satchel, but the weight was. That night, I lay awake thinking about that name, about how the system had almost handed the route to someone else, almost let the connection move on. I think that's what Part 7 taught me. Finishing a route doesn't end it. It just keeps it from being reassigned. And I don't know how long I can keep walking that line. Between doing my job and becoming part of whatever waits at the end of roads that don't want to stay gone, I started paying attention to the names after that. Not just on the phantom envelopes. On the regular mail too. People I'd never met but delivered to every day. Names that showed up once, then never again. Addresses that went vacant without notice. Mail piling up until the system quietly marked them inactive. Routes shed people all the time. That's normal. What isn't normal is how some names linger. A week after the mailbox and the clearing incident, I found another envelope that didn't belong to the day's mail. Same thick paper, same careful printing. Different name this time. I recognized it, not personally, but professionally. A carrier who'd worked the next county over. Older guy. Solid reputation. Retired suddenly a few years back. No party, no goodbye route, just gone. The return address was still 1178. I didn't bring the envelope home. I didn't open it. I didn't even put it back in the satchel. I slid it between the seat and the center console and told myself I'd deal with it later. By the end of the route, it was gone. That night, I dreamed of walking a road I didn't remember starting on. Gravel crunching under my shoes, trees pressing close. Ahead of me, another carrier walked at the same pace, just far enough that I couldn't catch up. Every so often, he'd stop at a mailbox that wasn't there before. Open it. Scan. Mark delivered. He never looked back. When I woke up, my legs ached like I'd walked for miles. The next morning, there was a notice on the depot bulletin board. Rediment announcement effective immediately. The name matched the envelope. No details, no forwarding address, just a line thanking him for his years of service. That's when it clicked. 178 isn't a place, it's a status. It's where the system sends what doesn't get finished, routes, deliveries, people, when they don't fully close out. Not fired, not quit, just absorbed. Every phantom address I'd seen, someone else's, almost ending. And every time I finished my route cleanly, deliberately, without shortcuts, I wasn't just protecting myself. I was keeping the workload from rolling downhill onto someone else. That realization changed how the satchel felt. Heavier, yes, but not hostile. More like a trust you don't get to refuse once it's been handed to you. I don't know how many names are still on that list. I don't know how close I've come to being crossed out. But now, when the scanner hesitates, I stop walking. I stand still. I wait. I make sure the system knows I'm here. Awake, aware, finishing what I start. Because I've seen what happens to carriers who let the route finish them instead. And I don't plan on retiring at Lump 78. The list stopped growing after that. Not because there were no more names, but because I stopped letting them reach me. I finish my route the same way every day now. Slowly. On purpose. No shortcuts. No, I'll get it tomorrow. If a box is dented, I fix it. If an address looks wrong, I double check it. I don't rush the scanner. I wait for the beep. The system responds to that. The phantom envelope stopped showing up in my satchel. The gray branch never came back on the map. Some mornings the truck still feels heavier than it should, but it settles once I start moving, like it just needed to know I was committed. A month ago, a new carrier rode along with me for training, fresh uniform, nervous smile. Halfway through the route, right near where the old bend used to be, he frowned at his scanner. "It's weird," he said. "Feels like it almost buzzed." I took the scanner from him and waited. 1 second, 2, nothing. "Old GPS drift," I told him. "Happens if you don't give it a moment." He nodded, relieved, and we kept going. That night, I checked my mailbox out of habit, normal mail. Bills, ads, one handwritten envelope for my sister. No return address I didn't recognize. No thick paper, no lists. I think that's how it ends for most of us. Not with a confrontation, but with maintenance. Quiet work done correctly so something worse doesn't have to step in and help. Routes don't want to trap people. They just want to be finished. So I keep walking mine. I carry the weight. I don't pass it on. Because somewhere out there are roads that don't exist until someone starts ignoring the ones they're already on. And I don't intend to give them a reason to appear again. I thought that meant I'd reached some kind of balance. That as long as I stayed careful present, the system would leave me alone. And for a while, it did. Months passed without anything strange. Winter came and went. The route stayed the same. The satchel felt like a satchel again. Then one morning, I overslept. Not by much. 10 minutes, maybe less. Enough that I rushed. Enough that I skipped my usual check of the truck and just got moving, telling myself I'd make up the time later. The scanner buzzed halfway through the route. Not a hard vibration, just a soft, almost apologetic one. Delivery confirmation. Pending no address. I stopped the truck anyway. The road I was on was familiar, but wrong in small ways. Trees a little closer. Pavement darker. Like the world had been reprinted from memory instead of reference. My stomach tightened. I checked the time. 2006 p.m. Same minute the mail always hit my box back when this started. The scanner buzzed again, stronger this time. Recipient, present. I hadn't skipped anything yet. I knew that. I checked the route list. Everything before this point was marked complete, by me, but there was a blank line at the bottom. No address, no name, just a cursor blinking, waiting. I sat there with my hands on the wheel, breathing slow, forcing myself not to panic. "I'm here," I said out loud. "I'm doing the job." The buzzing stopped. When I drove on, the road corrected itself. Trees pulled back. Pavement lightened. Like whatever had leaned in decided I'd noticed quickly enough. That's when I understood the last rule. It doesn't punish mistakes. It waits to see if you notice them. The danger isn't skipping a stop. It's pretending you didn't. I don't rush anymore. Not ever. Even when I'm late. Even when it costs me. Because I know now that as long as I keep acknowledging the work, every stop, every address, every quiet obligation, the route stays a route. But the moment you stop paying attention, it starts deciding where you belong. I don't think I'll ever retire early. Not because I love the job, because I understand it now. Routes aren't just lines on a map, they're promises, quiet ones. You show up, you carry what you're given, you put it where it belongs, and you don't pretend anything finished itself without you there to see it done. As long as I do that, 178 stays gone. I still pass the bend in the road where it used to almost be. It looks like nothing now. Just trees and gravel and a stretch of air that feels thinner than the rest. The scanner never vibrates there anymore. The system doesn't need to remind me. Sometimes, near the end of a long day, when my shoulder aches and my legs are tired, I feel the satchel pull just a little heavier. Not threatening, expectant, like a job asking if I'm still paying attention, and I always am, because I know what happens when routes don't get finished. They don't disappear, they don't forgive. They wait for someone else to carry them. If this story kept you up tonight, subscribe for more. I'll see you on the next route.